Good day, folks. Welcome to Just Omer. My name is Omer Ahern Jr., and this is my periodic report to the people of Grafton County and anybody else who wants to listen about what is going on in Grafton County government here in New Hampshire, specifically the Grafton County Commissioner's work up there at the county seat in North Haverhill, Grafton County. I am one of 3 county commissioners here in Grafton County. I serve the towns in District 3, which include the towns that go up from Campton, or start at Campton, and Warren, and Grafton, and Dorchester, and work their way down over to Canaan, and then down to Alexandria, Bristol, Ashland, and all the towns in between in the southeastern part of Grafton County, and of course including the towns of Holderness, Plymouth, and Hebron. I serve with 2 other commissioners, Commissioner Wendy Piper from Commissioner District 1, which encompasses the town of Hanover, the city of Lebanon, and the town of Enfield, and Commissioner Piper is the chairperson of the Grafton County Commissioners. And we also serve with Commissioner Linda Lauer, who serves the people of, well, actually we all serve the people of Grafton County, but Commissioner Lauer is elected from District 2, which includes all the towns in northern and western Grafton County. We meet pretty much on a weekly basis, Tuesday mornings starting at around 9 o'clock. Although we have a meeting coming up in a couple of weeks where we will be meeting in the afternoon because we have some public hearings that we need to hold, and because of federal rules and regulations for funding, those meetings have to be held in the afternoon hours so that more members of the public can be available to attend those meetings, and there'll be more about that in the coming weeks. Every Tuesday morning when we meet up at the Commissioners' Conference Room in the Administration Building up in North Haverhill, we start out with the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. And the first person on the agenda for the meeting, which we held yesterday, the 11th of January, we heard from Grant Nelson, the county farm manager. And we have quite a county farm operation up there in Grafton County. And we're the last operating farm, full farm in the state of New Hampshire for the counties. And we have a wonderful dairy operation, milking mostly Holstein cows. We have pigs, we have chickens, and we have vegetable operations. So Mr. Nelson meets with us on a monthly basis and provides us with a written report. And normally the first item on his report is the milking situation. And so this is his January 2022 farm report. He reports that we're currently milking 77 cows, averaging 80 pounds of milk per cow, and shipping around 12,100 pounds of milk every other day. We sell our raw milk to Agrimark, and Agrimark then does what it does, and many of you may be buying county milk when you're going into the different grocery stores in New England. The milk components are 4.33% butterfat and 3.27% protein. What Grafton County Farm was paid for this milk that they sold in December to Agrimark was about $21.83 per hundredweight. And right now, any price over $20 a hundredweight is good. So we're doing a little bit better than the average market price right now. One of the things that's kind of unique to county farms in New Hampshire over the years, and county farms in New Hampshire have been around since the 1870s when county government was first established by the state legislature. And as I've described in the past, county government includes providing nursing home services for the elderly, the correctional departments, a jail and a house of correction, and again, as I said, the farm. And one of the, again, unique aspects of the county farm is we use inmate labor, folks that have been sentenced to the house of correction and are properly classified by the system, can work out with the cows in the barn, helping to milk, helping to feed the cows, cleaning up the stalls, cleaning up the barn, working with the pigs, cleaning the pig pens, working with the chickens and things like that. So unfortunately, though, over the last couple of years, due to the COVID pandemic and the courts being shut down, the Grafton County Farm has not had the amount of labor from the House of Correction that it is used to having. And this has created some significant problems for what we normally do at the Grafton County Farm, such that this past growing season, we did not put in our vegetable fields, where we usually put in carrots and tomatoes and lettuce and onions and things. We did continue to have our potato crop put in, our winter squash crop put in, and we'll talk a little bit about that coming up. But having workers work in the dairy operation, where we milk the cows twice a day, in the morning around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we rely on those inmates to help to milk the cows. And by doing that, we try to have a very efficient farm operation there. So we have one inmate worker is available for morning milking, and we have 2 inmate laborers for afternoon milking. But one of those inmates will be released on January 17th. So we'll be back down to 1 inmate being able to help out at the dairy operation. One of the aspects of the farm doc program that I've been talking about over the last almost year at this point, Farm Department of Corrections, is to process some of our dried out dairy cows and use the meat from the processed dried out dairy cows to feed into the inmates in the House of Correction. And steak and hamburg and beef for beef stew and the bacon and the pork from the pigs, and of course the chickens and the eggs. Try to have those things fed from our farm operations into the House of Correction, so that we don't have to buy all of these food items from the food chain supply that is not very reliable in the last 2 years. So we're going to be having 2 of our cull cows are going to be processed over the next couple of weeks, with that meat to be consumed within the Department of Corrections. Our potato marketing is proving to be a bit of a challenge. So if you know of anyone in your town that is running, or a charitable organization in your town or community that is running a food shelf and are looking for a source of very good potatoes, please contact the Grafton County Farm up in North Haverhill. If you go to the Grafton County website, you'll be able to get a phone number for the Grafton County Farm. So we would, I know that in the past we have provided lots of potatoes to the New Hampshire Food Bank for distribution among the various communities in the state of New Hampshire. And where, Grafton County has potatoes to make available for other food banks. The farm manager also gave us a time allocation for chores report, loading and feeding the cows, the number of people required for that, 1 person, number of times per day, 2, and hours per day, 2 hours a day. Then loading and feeding the heifers and the dry cows, number of people, 1, number of times per day, 1, and 0.5 hours per day. And so that goes on, and so he's identified every aspect of what the farm does, and that includes milking cows and feeding the calves, cow barn cleaning the calf barn, feeding chickens and washing and boxing the eggs, collecting pig feed from the nursing home and the house of correction, the food scraps, and feeding them into the pigs to save us a little bit of money on pig feed. Also, and then feeding the pigs. Then we also have manure spreading and putting manure in storage till we can put it out on the field when the weather is appropriate. And that includes sometimes during the winter, and spreading the manure on the fields for where we plant the corn, plant the potatoes, plant the squash, and our other vegetables. And then recycling garbage from the nursing home. We also, another area of work is the heifer and dry cow barn cleaning and bedding and manure removal. This takes 1 person about 3 hours a week. And then cleaning the bedding in the pig barn and cleaning the bedding in the chicken area. He also provided, the farm manager also provided a listing of the present farm equipment and vehicles that are available for the Grafton County Farm. This listing was made at my request because we've got to make sure that our equipment is kept up, and we have to have equipment that's working properly, so that we can do all the chores and grow all the things that we need to grow. And over the years, the county's been very fortunate to have a very good farm neighbor next door, and we want to really thank that family that's next door to us, the Hatch family, Howard Hatch, doing business as Hatchland Dairies. And anytime Grafton County's had a challenge with regard to its equipment, Howard has been a very, very good neighbor to us. So we thank you again, Howard, for your being a good neighbor to the county. The Register of Deeds was scheduled to make her monthly report at this meeting, but she had another obligation at that time. So she did submit her report to us, basically how much money has come in based upon the number of properties that have passed hands within Grafton County, and how much of the money, the transfer stamps and recording fees, stays with Grafton County, and how much of that goes to the state of New Hampshire. So we have that report that is made available with the minutes when they're ultimately published. One of the items on the agenda was a contract that had been submitted to the county commissioners for their approval from the sheriff's department relative to some technical equipment for the sheriff's department. And this is a contract that we had looked over by the legal department at Primex, and because of a number of serious concerns that Primex has had, a lot of concerns that I had, we decided and knowing that we had another alternative to meet all of these technical and electrical needs, we decided not to approve this contract with this provider. We had some drawdown requests from the Community Development Block Grant folks, and we did signed some documents with regard to the some of the micro enterprise projects that the county commissioners will back up. Doesn't necessarily cost the taxpayers any money. It allows these small groups to go out and get grants. And again, most of these economic groups are out there helping small business owners within Grafton County to grow and provide more jobs. We did receive from the Superior Court the monthly Superior Court report, and actually this comes from the Department of Corrections, listing the inmates in our correctional facility that are presently awaiting trial or awaiting disposition. And there's a number of issues that have concerned me, is the number of days that some of these inmates have been behind bars. Part of the problem, though, is the courts for the last almost 2 years have been shut down or have been very limited in what they're doing. No jury trials, and of course any person who's charged with a felony is entitled to a jury trial. And when you look at some of the crimes here that we're holding people for, felonious sexual assault, child pornography, second and first degree assault, reckless conduct, to name a few, theft by unauthorized taking. There's just a lot of, we got a second degree, we have a person in here for second degree murder, burglary, criminal mischief, resisting arrest, domestic violence, breach of bail conditions, simple assault, some computer crime is a big issue now up here in Grafton County. Violation of the Controlled Drug Act, criminal threatening. So we have quite a few individuals that are being held awaiting trial on some pretty serious crimes. The county the county commissioners did sign a letter of support for the wildfire risk reduction grant. This is a proposal from the UNH Cooperative Extension dash Education Forester, also known in the old days as the County Forester, to do some managed burns on county land, to prepare members of our maintenance staff, local fire departments, and inmates from the House of Correction on how to manage wildfires, brush fires that might happen. We certainly hear about all the brush fires and wildfires that are going on out in the West, and the millions of acres that are destroyed in homes, private homes, businesses. So the purpose of this grant is to be proactive and trying to anticipate potential problems that could happen here in Grafton County. And so we've applied for a grant through the UNH Cooperative Extension, and the commissioners are in 100% in support of this, and using our 750 acres of county forest land as a location to work on these types of issues. Controlled burns are something that are used in terms of maintaining forest lands. Oak trees, oak regeneration is one of the very good benefits that comes from doing a controlled burn. Blueberry bush production coming from controlled burns. So we're trying to work a little bit with that. Also, we are still working with the ARPA funding that the county has, and on last week on the 3rd of January, the county commissioners heard requests from the county attorney's office to hire a new assistant county attorney for the next 3 years as a temporary job at a cost of approximately $310,000 for a 3-year term. That will ultimately be considered and decided upon by the county delegation executive committee. And again, the county delegation executive committee is made up of members of the general court, your state representatives that are elected from Grafton County, and this is the executive committee from the full delegation, which again are the elected state reps from Grafton County. The county attorney also requested funding, again $300,000 to hire a full-time investigator to work particularly on cases involving sexual assault and domestic violence. The commissioners did recommend to the delegation executive committee that this position be approved in the county attorney's office. And then the county attorney also asked for new laptops for all the employees in the county attorney's office. And again, that's something that will be ultimately decided upon by the executive committee of the county delegation. The nursing home and the Department of Corrections requested funding for personal protective equipment supplies because of the COVID situation that we're still going through. And there was a request for funding for that, which the commissioners did approve, and hopefully the county delegation executive committee will approve that. There was a request from one of the department heads for closed circuit cameras and panic buttons, and that particular request was supported by the county commissioners. There was a request from the human resource director to fund COVID relief pay of up to 14 days for employees of Grafton County, and that was about a little over $1 million to fund this over the next year or so. And that, because of the nature of COVID and what we're going through, the commissioners are suggesting to the delegation executive committee that that be approved. The Sheriff's Department is requesting premium pay for their essential workers at a cost of $234,000. That will be something decided upon ultimately by the county executive committee, the county delegation executive committee. There was a request for replacement of the Sheriff's Department in-car cameras, and that is something that will be decided upon by the county delegation executive committee. Request from the dispatch director to install emergency backup power at the Man Hill radio site in Littleton, New Hampshire. Very important to the county emergency services for fire department, ambulances, and of course police departments within the county. The county commissioners did suggest to the county delegation executive committee that be funded to the tune of about $35,546. Another request from the dispatch director for radio consoles that would incorporate additional radio consoles into their dispatch radio system. Again, that'll be a decision ultimately made by the county delegation executive committee. There was another request for a county telephone system which would allow all county department heads and essential employees to work from home and have access to their county phone numbers at home. The commissioners did suggest that this be supported by the county delegation. And there were a couple of other requests. There was a request from the farm manager, Grant Nelson, for a new tractor to replace a tractor that had just a lot of breakdowns. And this tractor is a multi-use tractor. It's about a $70,000 purchase, and the county commissioners felt that this was an important need because of winter plowing up there at the county complex, and also to meet what may be coming necessary under the farm dock program. So just a couple of other things. The county does spend an awful lot of money on traveling nurses. If you know of anyone who is an RN or an LPN or an LNA looking for work, Grafton County is hiring. And we really need some people because we're paying a lot of money for traveling nurses who come from the Midwest, out west, and you know, like all over the country, we're going through a staffing crisis, but we need to meet the needs of our elderly and disabled in our nursing home. And one of the things that I do as the clerk of the county commission is I have to sign off every week on every invoice that's paid by Grafton County. And one of the invoices that we pay is to Woodsville Water and Light for electricity, water, and sewage. And the check that I signed this week to Woodsville Water and Light for these services was $56,438.72. The county needs to look for other ways to meet these needs. We've got the land where we can dig the wells. We've got the land where we can put in our own sewage system. And talking about this slightly used nuclear fuel situation, there's other ways that we can generate our own electricity up there. More to come on those things. I want to thank the folks here at Pemmy Baker TV for allowing me this opportunity. I wasn't quite sure that I'd be using up all my time, but it looks like I am using all my time. And I just want to tell you that I consider it an honor and a privilege to serve as the District 3 County Commissioner. And I thank again PBTV for allowing me to do this. God bless America. God bless the Granite State of New Hampshire. Thank you and take care.